I would love for Spurs or Villa to win it, man. Fuck, now
Villa,
that
yes.
is-
Bhai, I'm
Villa,
on the
yes.
call with you, yaar. I know it's unrealistic, but bolo na ke one day I would hope Everton also. मतलब at least कुछ तो दोस्ती यारी निभाओ.
चलो अभी दोस्ती यारी के टाइम पे दोस्त के टीम के बारे में भी बात करते हैं. Let's talk about Everton. Everton did get a point against Crystal Palace. Sorry, against Brighton, not Crystal
Right.
Palace,
Yeah.
against Brighton. A 1-1
Stoppage time. They got the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. But that is not the most interesting and the most important thing about this bit. The fact is that they did get more than 1 point because they have got 4 points back. So only 6 points have been deducted, not the original 10. The appeal has gone through. And now with that, Everton are out of the relegation zone. They currently sit in 15th above Brentford and Nottingham Forest.
Don't say these things out of relegation. As a jinxing, you shouldn't do.
No, I'm just stating facts.
Don't.
No, I mean, actually, the fact is they were never in the relegation zone. Luton was still below them. But yeah, 4 points back. Honestly, I'm so jaded. I don't know how to feel because there's also I was hoping that they say, okay, whatever, take 4 points back, and the second charge is dropped because the second charge and the first charge are essentially the same charge. But now the fact that there is still a second charge makes me feel like, okay, for the first charge, Everton were deducted 6 points. Does that mean we're going to lose another 6 points for the second charge? When is that appeal going to go through? There is no part of me that is happy or relieved or any of that because I honestly have no clue what's happening.
Right.
This appeal process went off for really long. Then there's the other thing of Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, like you said, are now below us, but they also might have a points deduction. How many points are they going to get deducted? Because Everton are over the limit by roughly 20 million. Forest by about 200 million. Everton didn't gain sporting advantage, and the 20 million that they have gone overboard is largely interest on loans that they have to repay thanks to the new stadium they're being made. Forest with their spending has had like clear sporting advantage which has not played out for them. But so will they be deducted 6 points? Will they be deducted more than 6 points? Will Everton have to pay double jeopardy and still lose another 6 points, which means overall 12 points are going to get lost? So honestly, I have no clue, man.
I have a thought on this. Okay? I'm not a big fan of teams being deducted points in the middle of a season.
Okay.
I feel that regardless of when the crime happened, अगर तुम लोग का judicial process किसी साल खत्म हो रहा है and you have reached a verdict, then in the next off season is when the points penalty should come into effect, and so you start the next season with a deficit of points because in the middle of a season when you deduct points and then give points back, it throws the entire league into a little bit of jeopardy because बाजू का जो teams है their playing style also gets affected because they don't know what is happening. Everton are currently in the relegation zone, पर यार maybe उनको सारे points मिल गए तो they'll be up and we'll be in the relegation zone. So what is the strategy that we need to have? वो सब बहुत stressful होता है. But if चलो ये season में उन लोग को पता चला कि यार Everton का ये issue है, they said next season we'll deduct 10 points from you. Then Everton appeals. All of this is happening off the pitch. On the pitch, in the league, everything's going fine. They appeal, they say, अच्छा ठीक है, तुम्हारा appeal accept हो गया, so now you're only being deducted 6 points, etc. By the end of the season, you finally figure out, boss, कितना points निकालने का. अभी final call is 6, then 6. Then next season, Everton starts with minus 6 points. It should be as simple.
I absolutely agree because what's also and what I've been experiencing with Everton over the last few game weeks is so much uncertainty because like you're saying, obviously the teams around Everton also get affected, but Deitch has been playing very cautious football because when you're level on points with the team that's placed 18, you are pretty much in the relegation zone. So you can't risk losing even 1 point. So against your Palace, you have to try and make sure, bhai, 1 point to ghar pe leke hi jayenge. But if, for example, 1 week ago Everton found this out and found out that there's actually a 5-point buffer between the relegation zone and Everton, then you can be like, you know what, we're at we're playing Palace. Palace have been weak. They're going through a change.
Yeah.
Go for the win. Push
Yeah.
it. हार गए तो चलेगा. We have 5-point buffer.
Yeah.
So that has changed the way Everton have played football over the last few game weeks,
Yeah.
which is also really unfair. And I am very, very certain that we will see a change in play style from Deitch and his team now, because that 5-point buffer means slightly you can breathe a sigh of relief. Not fully again because of the second charge, but right now you're like, okay, as things stand, we can afford to be a little bit risky in our play. So it's just, and honestly, that's why I'm being able to cut off from Everton, because I'm feeling so jaded with football. Like even this episode, we spoke about a cup final. We didn't actually discuss the goal that went in. All we're
Yeah.
discussing is, oh, offside tha ki nahi tha, VAR is so shit, £1 billion have been spent on a team. That's not the game. The
Yeah.
game is the game. What happens on the pitch has taken such a backseat because everything else is a shit show.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But let's talk about some things that Everton players are up to off the pitch because James Tarkovsky, Amazon Prime has launched a new reality series called Married to the Game, which basically talks about the lives of players and their wives or their partners off the pitch. And there were some interesting clips from this that did the rounds on Twitter. James Tarkovsky was featured in this in particular. His flirting was highlighted because there's a clip where his wife says, "Oh, everybody looks so gorgeous," and James Tarkovsky is just looking into her eyes deeply and just says, "Especially you. I planned that for you." And she's just like, oh my god, James, I did not expect that. And everybody just like, Everton का और 10 पॉइंट निकालो ये घटिया फ्लर्टिंग की वजह से.
ओवर एक्टिंग का 50 रुपए काट.
Yeah. And then they were asked when they were at home, they were asked what their favorite activity together is, and James Tarkovsky, the gentleman that he is, without batting an eyelid, just says, shagging. So she's
Yeah.
like, bro.
And then she
मतलब,
laughs.
हाँ,
Yeah, and then she laughs and she's like, but we really, I've always said this, that we really like just being in bed together and cuddling and,
just
so that's my favorite part of the day. Also shagging. Like even she underlined it. She didn't just let it pass. She's like, no, it's not the only thing. I also love cuddling with you.
yeah.
But shagging is important, I agree.
Shagging is very,
And my
very important.
main thought was, chalo, at least someone at Everton is scoring.
Yes. Fantastic. I think on that note, it is time to end this episode, QK. That is a perfect note to end it.